What's up, Beta Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. I'm your host, Fareed. As a part of today's video, we're breaking down all of the latest updates when it comes to Cardano. First things first, we'll review a brief update with respect to the weekly development report. We're going to touch on Cardano node version 9.1.0, which introduces the Chang Hardfork. And I want to touch on some of the progress when it comes to SPOs, as well as centralized exchanges and their need to update. We've also got an ongoing event here, which is Blockchain Rio, where we've seen Charles Hoskinson in representation in Latin America. And there's also a follow-up event, which you'll be attending, which I want to highlight or bring to your attention as a part of today's update. Following that, brief news piece here surrounding USDM, as they now are nearing $6 million of the fiat-backed stablecoin being minted on chain, followed by a brief piece surrounding Nuvola, their staking retroactive rewards, and their recently funded Catalyst proposal. As we get ready to close out updates for today, I want to bring to your attention the ADA handle team, which will be rolling out their sub handles. So I'm going to explain what sub handles are and then some of the features or capabilities that you'll have with those brand new additions. Now, if it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central, my goal is to educate the Cardano community by bringing you the latest news, updates, and tutorials from all the biggest builders in the growing ecosystem. If you'd like to support the channel, one of the easiest ways to go ahead and do so is by smashing that thumbs up. You can also go ahead and consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you want to take your support a step further, consider delegating with the Dapp Central Stake Pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. Right now, you'll earn your traditional ADA rewards. We've officially broken over epoch number 500. And of course, you can claim those ADA rewards at any given time. But in addition to those rewards, you'll also be earning the Matera utility token. You'll also be earning the Sarah utility token. And then last but not least, the Tokyo utility token there as well. I'll leave a video down below as a part of this description if you've got any questions just surrounding the staking process and exactly how you can earn those different assets. That said, let's jump into the first bit here, which is surrounding the Cardano ecosystem. And I want to just quickly highlight the fact that Cardano has officially been up for over 2,500 days with 0 restarts, 0 amounts of slashing taking place, 0 pauses, 0 outages, and 0 classic forks where the blockchain basically becomes 2, right? So yes, we have had hard forks in the ecosystem, but keep in mind that those have all been agreed on, not just by SPOs, but by the founding entities and centralized exchanges, making sure that when we do have hard forks, that there isn't a brand new Cardano blockchain, which is an offspring of the previous iteration or the previous version of the blockchain. So shout out to Stake with Pride here for keeping track of this year. As I mentioned, we've just broken over into epoch number 500. Again, confirming that because each epoch is 5 days, we've officially been up on the mainnet for over 2,500 days. And just to put this into perspective, Cardano is number 2 only to Bitcoin for number of consecutive days when it comes to uptime. Right below or right after Cardano, we've got Ethereum. And then I want to say we've got Solana and a few other blockchains, but this really goes to show the resiliency of the Cardano ecosystem and the Cardano network, arguably the most decentralized blockchain as it stands right now. Let's jump back in here. We've got the weekly Cardano development report highlighting the release of Cardano node version 9.1.0. Again, I've talked about that and what that brings forth, which is the Chang Hardfork. Keep in mind, there's 2 portions to that. I'll leave the link to my last video breaking that down in more detail. We've also got final preparations for Lace version 1.14. And I've also had Rudy here on the channel not too long ago to break down what was included in the Lace version release for 1.12 and 1.13. Again, links to that down below. Make sure to go and check that out. We've also got Plutus TX, which has now been rebranded to Plinth. So I'll be digging a little bit further into that here. We don't typically see a lot of renames, but just keep that in mind if you see any mentions of Plinth. That's a new reference to Plutus TX. Now we've got some updates here with respect to Hydra. Again, we've got some more mentions there of the Chang Hardfork. And then we've got the onboarding process officially beginning for all 258 projects, which were funded for Project Catalyst funding round number 12. Now, last but not least, we've got the Cardano developer course currently underway at the Technological University of Argentina, also known as the UTN. Looking at the right-hand side there, TVL still around the same area, 556 million. Of course, we've got one brand new project added in terms of projects building, bringing us to a total of 1,369. Moving right on over, we've got the Cardano Foundation, as well as Charles Hoskinson and IOG in representation at the Blockchain Rio event. We've actually heard from Charles. I'm going to play a brief snippet here, but we've got an update coming out from the CF directly. Now, this also includes the fact that they basically onboarded and officially started their blockchain academy in partnership with Petrobras, which is a gas and oil company based out of Brazil, making millions of dollars in terms of revenue per year. So the Cardano Foundation has partnered with them to basically bring blockchain-based educational learning to all of their employees. So it highlights here that this entire course is well over 8.5 hours of content. There's 4 different sections or courses included. It can be taken online, self-paced, free to learn, with a fully verifiable certification, which is actually minted on the Cardano blockchain, available at the very end. Now, I mentioned here the fact that people will be able to verify their NFTs or to verify their completion of the course through an NFT. And so Petrobras is also partnering up with the foundation to launch 500 unique NFTs that are actually upgradable depending on how much of the content you've completed. So it states here that these NFTs will change color as employees progress through the academy courses, making their learning experience in the Cardano Academy both fun and rewarding. Last but definitely not least, we've got the Cardano Foundation also introducing a white label solution. So they've deployed an initial academy for Petrobras, but imagine them being able to onboard any other company within or outside of the Latin American community. And so that's exactly what this white label solution allows for them to do. So it states here that as a part of their white label academy, they'll be able to customize blockchain education solutions for different targets or different companies or platforms that they're aiming to provide their services to. Again, there's a link to that down below if you want to partner up with the Cardano Foundation in order to onboard your company or maybe somebody that you're aware of that could benefit from blockchain-based solution or just blockchain-based educational programs. The white label solution also allows for the empowerment of company executives, again, allowing for them to make better educational choices surrounding how they could use blockchain. And then last but not least, this also equips engineers and developers to be more readily available to build on Cardano. Now that we've got that out the way here, I do want to play a brief snippet. Again, shout out to Stake with Pride here for sharing this, but this is the introductory speech here that we've heard from Charles at the Blockchain Rio event. Again, I'm only going to play about a minute or so here. It will be a little bit sped up, but if you want to listen to this in its entirety, I'll leave the link to this down below as always.
Hi, everybody. No, I don't have any slides. I'm just going to freestyle. First off, Solana's never opened for me before, so thank you so much. I'm glad I don't have to fight Diego. That guy's big. But it's so good to be here in Rio de Janeiro. You know, this is an amazing event, and it's grown quite a bit in just such a short period of time. You know, I was talking to Rafa. Where's Rafa? Oh, there he is. And he was telling me about the humble origins and to see so many amazing projects here. Fabric is here. Chainlink is here. Obviously, we have BNB and Solana and others. And that just shows you the diversity of the industry as a whole, all the people inside the industry as a whole. You know, I've been in the industry for 12 years now. And I just recently shaved because I wanted to convince myself I was still young. So yes, I am Charles Hoskinson, even though I don't have the beard. And then actually the day I shaved, I was reaching for my shoes and I fell over and my back went out and I was like a turtle on the ground. So I guess I am getting old. But in just 12 years' time, I never could have imagined to watch something with the humble origins of Bitcoin to turn into what we see here today. It's extraordinary. Everywhere in the world you go, there's people that are building. And why are they building? They're building because they want to fundamentally change the economic, political, and social systems of the world. Everywhere you look, there's a problem. Problem with voting systems, problem with sound money, problem with social networks, problem with AI, problem with this, that, and the other. And are you happy? No. You want to change it. And normally how you change things is you have some form of a political change. You go and vote somebody out, you put a new person in, you have a revolution, you start a company, make some money, take over a product, but seldom is change permanent. And even if it is, it's change for some, but not for all. And the magic of the cryptocurrency and blockchain industry, regardless of where in it you happen to sit, the ethos of it is change for all and can't be evil instead of don't be evil. And so what I wanted to talk today about was to go through the generations and say that we're in the beginning of, I would argue, one of the last generations of cryptocurrency before we have mainstream adoption. We're right actually at the cusp of it. We've gone from nothing to hundreds of millions of people throughout the world, and we're one step away from billions of people in fundamentally transforming everything. So in the beginning, there was Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was the first to actually pull all the pieces together. Prior to that, there was the cypherpunk movement from the 1980s and beyond, academics and programmers and open source experts, people like David Chaum and Adam Back and Hal Finney, Wei Dai, these types of people. And basically, they wanted to create some form of internet money.
And so I'll stop the video there, but as you guys can see, again, Charles really breaking down where we stand, where Cardano stands, and just talking about, his 12 years of experience in this quickly growing space. So again, check that out. He talks a little bit about, the future of Cardano. He talks about identity, privacy, interoperability, all of those really good things, including an update on midnight. So again, check that out. I think it's definitely useful. Charles, always a wealth of knowledge here when it comes to crypto and just sort of his long-term vision about where this entire industry is going. Now, while we're on the topic of Charles, we've got him attending the Alba graduation ceremony. Looks like he'll be a speaker. This is actually done in partnership with IOG, the Cardano Foundation, the UTN, again, that technological institute in Argentina. And then we've got the Maze team in Index Protocol here also helping to push this entire initiative forward. So again, really good to see Cardano, Charles, IOG, everybody really gathering behind and expanding in the Latin American community. Of course, this is on the heels of the Argentinian partnership with the CF, right, in order to integrate Cardano and Cardano-based solutions within their government, specific to like taxes and things of that nature. In addition, we've also seen a vow from the Cardano community or the Cardano Foundation to integrate more courses at the Technological Institute or the UTN in Argentina. Now, again, I've talked about the fact that we've seen Charles and his entire team hanging out at the Blockchain Rio event. They're now, I believe, shifting over into Argentina, and they were actually able to have a nice little cookout there, try some asado or some steak, I believe, in Argentina. So I'm really happy to see everything ahead of the Cardano Constitution, which of course will be signed in Buenos Aires, Argentina in December of 2024. That will do it there for the general bit of updates. The next thing I want to briefly discuss is the Chang Hardfork. So I released a video not too long ago. I'll leave the link to that down below, breaking down Cardano node version 9.1.0, taking a look at the Conway Genesis file, exactly what has to happen before we can actually shift over into the brand new Voltaire era, and exactly where we stand with respect to SPOs and centralized exchanges. Now, again, I'm not going to rehash all of that. I just want to give you guys a brief update about the stake pool operators and the exchange's progress, or the centralized exchange progress, given that that's probably the biggest piece here that we need in order for the buy-in to switch over to Cardano node version as the mainnet candidate moving forward. Keep in mind that if you are a stake pool operator and you don't update by the time that the hard fork actually initiates, your Cardano node will no longer be able to mint blocks or properly engage with other peers supporting the Cardano ecosystem. So make sure to get the word out here to any SPOs, myself included. I'll be working to update to version 9.1.0 as soon as possible. Now, we need 75% of all SPOs on Cardano, which we have 3,100 of right now, to upgrade before the hard fork can basically be good to go. And then we also need at least 80% of the liquidity held on centralized exchanges to also have upgraded. So we're talking about some of the biggest crypto exchanges, which includes the likes of Binance, MEXC, Whitebit, Coinbase, etc. What's crazy is that we only have one exchange right now, which has actually started the process, and that's Coinbase. Everybody else has yet to actually join in on the process, with Binance being the biggest member here in terms of holding liquidity for ADA with a whopping 24%. When it comes to the actual stake pool operators, right now we've got, let's see, 18% of the blocks minted on mainnet being done by SPOs that currently are using Cardano version 9.1.0. And then we've got, let's see here, 5% of the blocks minted on mainnet coming in from SPOs operating using version 9.0. Now, the actual number that we're keeping track of here, which has been increasing pretty quickly, so shout out to the SPOs here, is 34% now, right? And again, we need that 75% threshold in order for us to get the green box to push forward with the Chang Hardfork for SPOs. And then we have, let's see here, about 8% of the total number of SPOs that are upgraded to version 9.0. Keep in mind that you do need version 9.1.0. So if you have upgraded to 9.0, you do have to make that upgrade to 9.1 in order to take advantage of that first portion of the Chang Hardfork. Again, check out that last video that I've posted if you want more updates surrounding that. Now, if you're enjoying all of the bits of information here that I'm sharing with you guys as a part of today's video, I would really appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. One of the easiest ways here to support me as a content creator. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central and you want more content just like this, breaking down everything going on in Cardano, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you want to share your thoughts, comments, or just opinion, then leave a comment down below. Again, if you want to take your support a step further, consider delegating with the official Dapp Central Stake Pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. Moving over, we've got a brief update here surrounding the USDM reserves. We've got an additional mint taking place about 3 days ago, minting over $1 million of the fiat-backed stablecoin. So we've now got a total reserve amount nearing $6 million, which right now sits at $5.9 million, which is quickly and exponentially growing over the past 60 days. Now, if you jump over to USDM on Cardano scan, we can see this latest mint again, $1 million. And then we had another one not too long ago, about 20 days before that, which was over $1.3 million. And then going back about another 30 or so days, we had another big mint of over $2.1 million. Now, again, keep in mind that this is just the businesses which are able to mint. We still don't have retail. And I actually just had Matt Ploman on the channel not too long ago talk about W3I Incorporated, as well as USDM and Moneta, to get an update from them surrounding that. So make sure to go and check that out as well. As I close out the brief update surrounding USDM, keep in mind that they do release a monthly newsletter. I'll leave the link to that down below as well. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe. That way you can stay updated as to the progress of the protocol, USDM, and any of their new and upcoming initiatives. That will do it there for updates on the stablecoin. Moving over, I want to briefly highlight Nuvola, which is officially onboarded the Cerberus project. So Cerberus does risk ratings here within Cardano. They're integrated into majority of the DEXs and DeFi protocols, but Nuvola adding them as an additional revenue stream for their 1-to-X model. So I believe they've already partnered up with Cornucopias. They've partnered up with Cerberus now. They've partnered up with the Minutes Network. They've partnered up with Iagon as well as OrcFax. So more and more rewards coming out for Nuvola stakers as their model continues to adopt more and more DePIN protocols operating their nodes. So they're aiming to run 10 nodes for the Cerberus protocol once that actually goes live. And then moving over with respect to staking, if you've been staking since June 19th, right, and you did not unstake for a minimum of 14 days, you are eligible for retroactive rewards. So keep that in mind and check your wallets or check your wallets associated with the Nuvola staking platform for any of those rewards that should now be available for claiming. As we get ready to close out here, shout out to Raul and the entire team from ADA Anvil. They've also got funding for over 240,000 ADA to bring on their collateralization hub for onboarding major and retail platforms into the Cardano ecosystem. Again, I've had this team on the channel to talk about this before, but in a nutshell, imagine being able to take any sort of NFT or even any sort of rewards and being able to collateralize that. So for example, let's say that you're earning staking rewards on the Nuvola platform. While you may not necessarily have actually had the ability to claim those rewards, imagine being able to use that as collateral on a platform like the collateralization hub. In addition, imagine maybe hosting or holding points for a particular airline or a particular company, or just any loyalty-based bonuses, and being able to collateralize that or even sell those on the collateralization hub. So this again opens up a lot of different opportunities. And what's crazy is how quickly the Nuvola team has been able to add value into the ecosystem. So they're working, if I'm not mistaken, with the Cardano Foundation to really bring this collateralization hub to people outside of the ecosystem. So congrats to that particular team. As we get ready to close out today's last update, I want to discuss the ADA handle standard. So if you're on Cardano and you're looking to send or receive at your Cardano-based wallet, you can go ahead and pick up an ADA handle, which basically simplifies that entire process. As long as the wallet that you're using has integrated the ADA handle protocol or the ADA handle standard. So it simplifies the process of sending and receiving assets. It makes managing your wallets a lot easier. And of course, it makes it easier to share any of your business-based wallet addresses. Now we're going to be getting the subhandle feature, which basically allows for you to create a subhandle based off of a root handle. So I want to explain exactly how these work. So here we've got an example of a subhandle where the main handle is DAO. Again, that could be any traditional or any existing main root handle. But then behind that, let's say that, DAO is the name of the project or the company, and then I hire somebody named John. Well, I can now mint a subhandle with the name John at DAO or Sophie at DAO. And you can imagine that, as more people are onboarded into my company or project, I can mint additional subhandles to onboard them as well. So this simplifies the process of sending and receiving, not only for the main handle, but also for the sub handle. And there's actually two types of sub handles. So there's actual NFTs. So in this particular instance here, imagine me or whoever runs DAO, right, as a company, being able to send John and Sophie a actual NFT within their wallet that they can then use, right, within the DAO company or the DAO project. Now, with this particular type of NFT, again, once I send it to them, there's no way for me to take that back without them actually sending that back. So that's the physical or the actual NFT based subhandle. There's also the virtual subhandle, which again, we've got the company or the project here as the root handle, and then we've got John and Sophie. But in this particular instance, I can actually set up a virtual handle, which basically just routes any reference to John or Sophie to their existing wallet. So let's say that a month from now, John and Sophie roll off the project. Because it's a virtual based handle, I can actually change what address any transactions that use that subhandle are routed to. Hopefully that makes sense. With the NFT based subhandle, once that person leaves the company, unless they physically send the NFT back, there's no way for me to get that subhandle back. But with the virtual, I can update that at any time. And Sophie and John are never in actual possession of the subhandle itself. So now that we better understand the subhandle feature, again, I want to highlight the fact that this will be launching very, very soon. And this is a perfect opportunity, right, for us to begin to see handles and subhandles included for DREPs. So DREPs are delegate representatives ahead of chain, which basically have the ability to get delegators and then vote on their behalf when it comes to governance actions. And again, as you can see, we've got DREP IDs, which are not human readable or legible at all. So to be able to quickly know and understand who a particular DREP is makes it a lot easier to, number one, delegate to them, but then number two, potentially send them assets or contact them in the future as you need to do so. So I believe that'll do it there with respect to ADA handles. I do want to highlight that they do have their brand new personalization feature in their personalization portal. So for everybody who holds a ADA handle, you can jump into their portal, you can customize your own ADA handle, and then you can actually customize what people see when they view your portal, which again is all based on your perspective or your unique feel and touch. I believe that'll do it here for today's update. As I close out here, again, we've got 3 new subhandle features, which allow for you to mint at an affordable price with an unlimited amount of subhandles for, again, any root handle. We've got the ability to let others create their own subhandles. And then we've got virtual subhandles that provide you with full control for anybody who you want to target with that subhandle. That will do it here for updates when it comes to Cardano breaking down Charles and the team at IOG in Latin America. Safe travels to them. We've also got updates here surrounding USDM, the Chang Hardfork, Nuvola, and ADA handles. If you found any portion of today's video to be helpful or informational or just insightful, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. It's one of the easiest ways to support me here as a content creator. It really does make a difference here and helps to get this content out of the Cardano ecosystem. If you want more content like this, breaking down everything going on the network, consider subscribing to Dapp Central. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, then leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.